everyone, and welcome back to Delias Studio. Let me ask you something. Have you ever walked into your sewing room and felt a little overwhelmed? Maybe it feels like your fabric is taking over the space, or your tools seem to have minds of their own and disappear just when you need them. Sound familiar? Well, stick around because today, I'm not just sharing tips. I'm giving you real-life, practical ways to turn your sewing space into the creative oasis you've always dreamed of. From clever storage hacks to maximizing small spaces, by the end of this video, you'll be ready to transform chaos into calm. And trust me, you won't want to miss a second of it. Alright, grab a cup of tea, and let's dive in. Decluttering the space. First things first, let's talk about decluttering. I know, it's not the most exciting part, but it's the foundation for everything else. Think of your sewing room as a blank canvas. If it's cluttered, it's like trying to sew on a table piled high with fabric. It just doesn't work. Here's what I want you to do. Take a deep breath and go through every single thing in your space. Ask yourself, do I actually use this? Those scraps you've been holding onto for 5 years? The ones that are too small to do anything with, but too big to throw away? It's okay to let them go. Trust me, you'll feel so much lighter. Once you've decluttered, you'll start to notice how much more space you have, and that's where the fun begins. Clever storage for fabric stash. Now, let's tackle your fabric stash. I see you nodding. We all love fabric, and before you know it, it feels like it's taking over the house. But don't worry, I've got you covered. One of my favorite tricks is to fold fabric into uniform sizes. It sounds simple, but it makes a huge difference. You can use magazine boards or even cardboard to help you fold them neatly. Once they're all the same size, stack them vertically in bins or clear containers. This way, you can see everything you have at a glance. If you want something a little fancier, consider getting a fabric organizer shelf. It doesn't just look beautiful, it also makes it easier to find what you need without digging through piles. And here's a little pro tip: group your fabrics by color or type, whatever makes sense for you. That way, when inspiration strikes, everything you need is right at your fingertips. Tools. Let's talk about tools. If you're anything like me, you've probably got scissors, rotary cutters, pins, rulers, and a whole bunch of other goodies that tend to end up scattered everywhere. But what if I told you that organizing them could actually make your sewing projects faster and more enjoyable? One of my favorite solutions is a pegboard. Not only does it keep all your tools within arm's reach, but it also frees up valuable drawer space. You can hang scissors, rulers, and even small baskets for things like bobbins or thread. Plus, it looks super cute, especially if you paint it to match your room's theme. Another idea? Magnetic strips. They're perfect for keeping metal tools like seam rippers and scissors in one place. And don't forget about drawer dividers. They work wonders for keeping small items like needles and pins from getting lost. Thread organization that actually works. Now let's move on to threads. Oh, threads. They're like the glitter of the sewing world, aren't they? Beautiful, but so hard to keep under control. Here's my tried and true method: invest in a thread rack. You can find wall-mounted ones that don't take up any table space, and they make it so easy to grab the color you need without unspooling half a dozen others in the process. If wall space is limited, try clear boxes with spindles to hold the spools in place. And here's a quick hack: store bobbins with their matching thread spools. You can use little rubber bands or even hair ties to keep them together. It saves so much time when you're in the middle of a project. Maximize small spaces. If your sewing room is more of a sewing corner, don't worry, you can still make it work. Think vertically. Shelving units, stackable bins, and over-the-door organizers are lifesavers in small spaces. Another trick? Foldable furniture. A drop-leaf table can give you extra workspace when you need it and tuck away when you don't. And for your sewing machine, consider a sewing cabinet with built-in storage. It's a game changer, especially in tight spaces. Oh, and don't underestimate the power of good lighting. A well-lit space not only makes it easier to sew, but it also makes your room feel bigger and more welcoming. Create zones for maximum efficiency. Finally, let's talk about zoning your space. This is where you really get to personalize your sewing room to match your workflow. Think about the tasks you do most often, like cutting, sewing, ironing, and set up separate zones for each one. For example, keep your cutting mat and rotary cutter on one side of the room, your sewing machine and tools in the center, and your ironing board close by for quick pressing. When everything has a designated spot, you'll spend less time hunting for things and more time actually creating. And there you have it. Whether you're working with a whole room or just a little nook, these tips will help you make the most of your sewing space. Which of these ideas are you most excited to try? Or maybe you have your own organization hack that works wonders. If so, share it in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to Delias Studio for more sewing tips, tricks, and inspiration. Hit that notification bell so you never miss a video. Thanks for spending time with me today. Happy sewing, and I'll see you next time.